Live from fans at the ballpark, meet Philadelphia's newest professional football team, the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets.
Hey, welcome everybody. It's a big round of applause here. I know everybody's been waiting. I'm your host, Bill Osborne, and no, I did not come from Hollywood like Krause did. I was actually coaching over in Marlton, so we have young fans over there in Marlton Youth Program, so I came right from the practice field over here to, to extend my wishes and to support Krause and the new team joining the professional ranks here in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets. So this is the first official event, so on behalf of the Yellow Jackets and Joe Krause, I'd like to welcome everybody. Just a brief history about the Yellow Jackets. Believe it or not, they were founded in 1899. They entered the NFL in 1924. The first head coach was Paul Berryman. 1926, they were the NFL championship, so we're going to help bring another championship back here to Philadelphia. And in 1931, it ended up being the Yellow Jackets' final season until this season. So a little history that from the past, and now we're going to bring it here into the present and to the future. But before that, we're going to have our national anthem sung by Valerie West. She's a 13-year-old from Broomall, professional singer and songwriter, and a local pop artist. Let's give it up for Valerie West.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Wow, great job, Valerie. 13 years old. Give it up again for a beautiful rendition. Wow, giving chills. So as we talked about, this is the first official event. Also want to thank everyone here, the bartenders, and of course everybody here. This is when you come to Citizens Bank Park, this is the place to come. So what better place to have our first official press conference than right here, because this is Philadelphia. So thanks to everyone here, and we'll talk about that too as well. Now, as we start the new season and we start the new league, obviously, there needs to be a leader at the top, not only of the team, but of the league itself. And we're fortunate to have here the commissioner of the league, and the Yellow Jackets are always will be strong supporters of those, obviously, who served before us. But before that, the commissioner is someone who, we really, really, really feel is the man to lead the new franchise and obviously the new league. So without further ado, the commissioner of the new Indoor Football League, Mr. John Morris.
Wow, what a great night. I know that a lot of hard work's gone on to this, or into this process. I worked with Joe for quite some time, and and sometimes we forget about what the family has to go through as well when you're going through this process. So I want to say thank you to Joe and to his family for putting in the work that was necessary to make the Yellow Jackets a reality. Also want to thank, we have Mr. Isaac over here who was gracious enough to come and bring the 2015 trophy that he won last year with the York Capitals. You know, we're very excited to be a part of this community in Philly and bring our brand of football, indoor football, to Philadelphia. And we could not ask for a better leader and owner than we have in Joe Krause. I mean, I've met with a lot of, good, sure, absolutely. You know, over our last 10 years, we've interviewed and pre-qualified and tried to bring quite a few owners, obviously, into our league, and I've never met anyone with more energy and enthusiasm and determination to do it right. So thank you, Joe. You know, the beauty about this Philadelphia team is that it fits very well within our footprint, and Joe and I talked about that over the last few months, and you know, we've made some great announcements. In fact, we had 2 more announcements today in bringing Raleigh, North Carolina into the mix, and also Lakeland, Florida. So we're real excited about being here in Philly. I think you'll see our brand of football is very, very good, and with the addition of the Yellow Jackets, it's going to obviously get even better if Joe's got something to do with it. So I would like to officially announce and welcome the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets in the AIF. Thank you.
Commissioner, well said. And as you guys can see, the ball's in the right hand, so to speak, for the leader of the league too. So another round of applause for Mr. John Morris, the commissioner. As mentioned by the commissioner, the league and the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets are and will always be strong supporters of those who have served our great country. With that being said, let's welcome Mr. Scott Brown.
This stage must have been built by the military because he goes up and down in levels, so it's definitely obvious it's military built. My name is Scott Brown, and I'm the Philadelphia Director of Veterans Affairs, and that means I'm responsible, as of today's last muster, 84,332 men and women who have served this great country that now live, work, or actively activate themselves in Philadelphia County. That being said, it's a great honor to be here because we are no longer what's considered a military town. When we had military bases that were Willow Grove and the Navy Yard in Philadelphia were going strong, it was easy to get a large number. But to keep such a large number, it means we have to be attractive to people that have served, the men and women who serve their country and then come back here to choose this place to work in and to live in and to raise their families in. And so our office is in City Hall. We are a city entity that runs state benefits and offers the federal benefits. We moderate all of the veterans benefits that come on all political levels. And so it's a daily routine to keep veterans here, to keep their benefits up to date, and honor veterans here. And Joe Krause has been a great advocate for that. It's been about 17 months that I've been named director and appointed in this position, and from day one, Joe Krause and his family and his friends and the teams that he involves himself in have not only served the veterans, but put us on a different level. And one of the things that is very close to Joe Krause is that on Thanksgiving Day, we feed veterans and their families. And one of the things that Joe is special for and that I will sell is that he makes sure that every veteran and their family members that come not only receive a winter coat, but they receive a business coat, and the children receive an activities coat to play in during the day. So we wound up this year feeding 147 family members and veterans, and every one of them got 3 coats to go home in. And so that's because of Joe Krause and the time that he spends for veterans. I know that I'm prejudiced to veterans. As a veteran myself, I think that we should be on the forefront of every campaign, every political conversation, and everything that's debated in this country. This night would not be possible if it weren't for the 6,540 men and women since August of 2003 that have lost their lives to the great freedom. So it's easy for me as director to say that we should do it. But when companies and when businesses and when football leagues and politicians step out of their normal realm and put veterans in the forefront, it makes it very easy and very simple. And I know that we all are patriotic at times, but people like Joe Kraus add the great accent to what we heard in such beautiful song, is that the freedoms do not come free, and if we continue to lose them in sight of our normal routine, then they would just be a football game, and it would just be a baseball game. But when we allow veterans to stand out and we point their service out to this great country, it makes it all more easier to enjoy the game, enjoy the win, and enjoy the great sport. And so I thank Joe Kraus from the bottom of my heart. My office thanks him, and the politicians that are here and the commissioner that's here. This shows that our city cares, and it cares for veterans, cares for what happens to veterans, and our public cares, and our people do. And it has been evident. Joe Kraus is on our board and very active with the first ever Veterans Parade will come to Philadelphia this year. First ever, November 8th, Sunday, November 8th. We're televised by Channel 6, 12 o'clock to 3:30 around City Hall and down Market Street. And it's going to be the first one, and it's going to be large, and it's going to be grand, and it continues throughout the year so that we have things like this, so that our office shines and the veterans therein. Joe Kraus, I wish I had 1,000 of you, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. From every veteran, I salute you. Thank you.
Well said. Very well said. Great job. And as we found out, we have a lot of people supporting us. Of course, Mr. Brown, with the director of Veteran Affairs here for the city. Of course, one thing about Joe is he's a tireless worker and he's a tireless supporter of the veterans. And nobody works harder than Joe. And there's a man that is going to lead the ship. Joe Kraus obviously is the man, and I agree with what you just said. And to that point, with the official welcome, though, to Philadelphia and for Philadelphia's newest professional football team, the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets, please welcome Councilman Mark Squilla and Councilman Bobby Heenan.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Councilman Mark Squilla here from the 1st District of Philadelphia. And I just want to say and reiterate with Scott Brown just said about Krause and what he means to the city of Philadelphia. Sometimes you have people out there that are asked for things, and sometimes you have people out there to do things. And Krause is somebody that does things. And that's a great way to have ownership for a team, is somebody who does things. And not only that, you look at the colors of the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets. That's the colors of the Philadelphia flag. The Philadelphia flag are the blue and yellow. So that means so much to Philadelphia. And to be able to stand here as a council person with my colleague, Councilman Heenan, to welcome the Philadelphia Yellow Jacks here is so important and so meaningful, because you have not only the team that we know Philadelphia will enjoy, and I want to thank the New York team for bringing the trophy here. You might as well leave it here, because I think the Yellow Jackets might be taking it. But understanding that we here in Philadelphia love our sports and how important sports are to Philadelphians, and to have a team that's going to come to Philadelphia that's so exciting, what an exciting league, and to have the action and activity that this league brings to our city is really second to none. And we have no better leader than Mr. Kraus. And I'd like to thank Commissioner Sawyer from the fire department also, who's here, recognizing, telling her what it means to not only have the firefighters and the police, our great veterans, our city officials, and all our residents here in Philadelphia, to be proud to support a great team in the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets and a great, great leader in Joe Kraus. Thank you very much.
Good evening, and thank you. My name is Councilman Bobby Heenan. I represent the 6th District in Northeast Philadelphia. And I want to welcome everybody, and I want to thank my colleague, Councilman Squilla, Commissioner Sawyer of the Fire Department, and the Commissioner of the League. We are a city of first. We are the brotherly love and sisterly affection so affectionately known as. We are first with the Declaration of Independence. We are the first capital of the United States, the first firehouse, first hospital, cream cheese, soft pretzels, all right, and we are number one in our passion for sports. All right, and that's what Philadelphia is. And here we are 85 years later from the first pro football team with the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets. In that spirit, we have the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets. And, you know, I am proud to say that, you know, our new owner is a first in commitment to our community. His principles for the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets, you know, play for veterans, play for community, play for opportunity. All right, and that's what we are as a city. That's what we are as a region. All right, because we are number one when it comes to our neighborhoods and our sports team, and number one in giving back. All right, and I do have the honor to introduce Joe Krause, which we all call Krause. All right, he is number one in having great sports talk with our community from Krause's Corner. And did you know, in his 11 years, in the past 11 years, he contributed, donated, and gave out nearly 120,000 coats to those who needed the first. And I think that's another first that we congratulate Krause on. And I'm proud to say that it'll be in my district in a few weeks, all right, for another first, giving back to the community, making everybody feel welcome and put in the fabric of the city of Philadelphia. And it is my honor to introduce your friend, my friend, the new owner of the first Arena League here or in Philadelphia, second and the first new league coming here, our friend Joe Krause. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Heenan, Councilman Squilla, Scott Brown, for all you do. Appreciate it very much and appreciate the kind words and the introduction. Good evening to our audience listening on ESPN Radio, and a thanks to the television stations for coming out to the press conference tonight. Thank you very much. In this town, in the National Football League, our beloved Philadelphia Eagles represent the gold standard in the NFL. In the Arena Football League, the Philadelphia Soul also represent the gold standard as they get ready and make their bid for a second Arena Bowl championship. And now, with the historic spirit, 85 years later, the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets, which will begin play in 2016, will strive to operate at the same gold standard as the Philadelphia Eagles and the Philadelphia Soul. The three cornerstones for the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets, which are the ingredients for the football team. First, community. Fire Commissioner Derek Sawyer here representing community. Engine 15 in the Frankfurt section of Philadelphia to this day utilizes the old original Philadelphia or Frankfurt Yellow Jacket logo. Big round of applause for a gentleman who has taken over the community and has done an amazing job. Commissioner Derek Sawyer, thank you. Our second cornerstone for the Yellow Jackets, we will play for those who have served, those who will serve, or those who are currently serving. And as I stand here today until I leave this world, no military veteran, current, active, or former, will ever pay for a ticket to see a Philadelphia Yellow Jacket football game. And finally, our final cornerstone of the three is opportunity. Opportunity for players. To my right, a gentleman from Philadelphia, Mr. Raheem Brock. Represents what it means to go to school and play football in Philadelphia. Represents what it means to make it to the National Football League. Represents what it means to win a Super Bowl. And now, with his support, will be part of the Yellow Jacket family as we try and create that opportunity to give our players and the members of our organization an opportunity not only to compete in the AIF, the American Indoor Football League, but to get an opportunity to secure a chance to play in the Arena Football League, in the Canadian Football League, or perhaps the National Football League. So I thank Raheem Brock. And finally, last thing I wanted to do was a long presser. Finally, for the Philadelphia sports fans, a chance to have a stake in your team. I'm proud to announce and let all football fans in Philadelphia know that all season ticket holders who purchase a season ticket will receive stock ownership in the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets. Before I bring up the head coach, I've always wanted to do this, and I've always wondered why it was done, and now I know. I want to thank my entire family, my wife Virginia, my boys Joseph and Alexander, my daughters Kateri and Isabel, my daughter Brittany, who could not be here tonight, and the matriarch of the family, my mother-in-law, Ann Conti. Now that I've got that out of the way, he was involved in one of the top 3 plays in arena football in AFL history. He led the Philadelphia Soul to an Arena Bowl championship in 2008. He is the team's first head coach, one of Philadelphia's favorites. Please help me welcome Mr. Mike Brown.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Brown, and I am your new head coach of the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets. First, I'd just like to thank God for this opportunity. Without him, I wouldn't be able to be back where I love, in arena football and in the city of Philadelphia. Second, I'd like to thank Krause. He is a stand-up guy. When I say that, I know sometimes it's hard for him to sit down, as if many of you know him. I've known him for 7 years, and I only seen him sit down like twice. And that's when he's doing his radio show, and half the time he's standing up. So I'd like to thank Mr. Morris, giving us this opportunity to join your league. That being said, I am super excited, like I said, about this opportunity. There's a lot of things that go into just putting a team together. And having the community behind you is the most important. Krause has done unbelievable things with limited amount of help. And the one thing that I've seen in the recent month, 2 months, as he was courting me, I guess you could say, is the staff that he was putting together, that he has put together up until this point. The thing that I noticed what's been important for me for a long time is family. You know, family comes first, and he has put together a very great group of close people that he trusts and that are very, very good at what they do. That was a huge selling point for me to come on with the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets. Krause also said that, Coach, you're going to be in control of the football. I'm not going to mess with that. I'm going to make sure that there's people in the fans and you put a good product on the field. So that's also important. So I'm going to go ahead and handle that. That's my job. What do we expect for the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets? As a team, well, let me just say this first. Times are changing, correct, with technology and all the different things that go on, and the kids are changing. I coach high school football, officer coordinator in Maryland, where I'm from, and it is, I'm 37 years old, but I feel like an old guy sometimes because time is flying by, especially with the changes in the young people these days. That being said, I think it's important to change with the times, to change with the kids. But what can never change is the core values and core standards. And that's something that we're going to hold our players to. The drive, the passion, respect for football, hard work, these are all the things that got me to where I wasn't able to play professional football for 10 years. I was defensive coordinator for a couple years. But those things that really helped me be successful in almost everywhere I've gone. I know that, in this league, we're not making $1 million. Right? Mr. Morris? Not $1 million. Not yet. Maybe not yet. 960. All right. We're close. But one thing I will expect from my players is to be professional at all costs. That means on the field and off the field. I had a great owner when I played for the Soul. His name was John Bon Jovi. And the one thing that sticks with me more than anything he ever told me was that I need a group of men that have character and not characters. And when you get a good group of men who are about one goal with character, the sky's the limit. It doesn't matter if it's football, whatever business you're in. If you can find a group of employees like that, you're going to be successful. Krause, you said number one, community, right? Community. I'd like to thank the fans that are here today and advance the fans that will be here tomorrow and the future to come as long as there's a Philadelphia Yellow Jacket team. Okay, that's number one. So the two questions I got, the biggest questions, I'll just say one. The biggest question was, how is there room for another professional football team in Philadelphia? Simple answer. In Philadelphia, there's always room for winners. And that's what we fitting to do. We are going to win. Sir, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Squilla. Councilman. Councilman stole my thing, Mr. Isaac. I said, man, I was thinking right back there. Appreciate the foreshadowing, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because that's ours, 2016. Hey, no better place to do right here. You know what I'm saying? In fun, but I'm serious. I think some of the things that Krause is going, he's going above and beyond. He's going to go above and beyond with the players, with the coaches, to make sure the facilities are great for us. I can't say anything yet, but we have a deal in the works as far as equipment is concerned that blows my mind. I don't know how you did it. Well, I know how you did it, Krause, because you can sell water to a well, my brother. But when I say go above and beyond, man, it's with the veterans. We're here right now. I just give you a quick story. I was at practice earlier today, and we're by where the president flies over when he goes to Camp David, and there's a lot of military craft that flies over. And I looked at one of my coaches, and I saw these 3 like Apache helicopters, and my heart didn't drop. I didn't get nervous. My palms didn't start sweating. I was just like, wow, that's pretty cool. But you got to think, in some other places in the world, when that happens, it's almost like you look to your buddy to the right, you kiss him goodbye. You know what I mean? And we don't have to live in that fear every single day. So I realize the importance. They're better men than me. Would I go fight if I had to? Did I sign up for it? I didn't. So much respect goes out to all those men and women who do that on a daily basis for us and into the future. All right. And then, sorry, I get long-winded, so I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. I'm super excited. But real quick, I got to take a couple questions. You want me to take a question or no? One question? One question. Michael, you got a question? It's my son right here. You good? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Arena football used to be known for Ironman football. Are you guys going to
I had a coach tell me this. Brett Muncy, great head coach for me for 5 years, excuse me, coached me in Orlando. But he said the more you can do. He told me that. He said, Mike, you can play offense, you can play defense, you can do kick return. I wasn't bull jobbing with you. I can long snap. So the more you can do, the better we're going to be off. So we're going to find players that fit the system. All right? Thank you very much.
One more time, congratulations, Coach Brown. Best of luck. Obviously, give it up for Coach Brown. I think he said it really well when he's talking about drive, passion, hard work. You know, that's basically Philadelphia. So with those elements in place, it's a framework for a successful team, an successful franchise. Councilman, way to start it off with the New York already. You got the not that we need any bad blood going on, but we obviously have a little rivalry. So it doesn't matter if you're playing ping pong or indoor arena football. We're going to start going after our opponents, whether it's New York or Dallas or anybody else. So great job getting all the juices flowing already. Again. Joe said, he introduced me. My name is Bill Osborne, and, I'm from Wildwood Crest, and, I was fortunate to go to University of Pittsburgh and play Division I football, and I played indoor football with the Pittsburgh Gladiators, which are now the Tampa Bay franchise. I also had a little stint with the Philadelphia Eagles and scouted with the Chiefs. But the point of this is that I've been around football my whole life, and right now I'm part of a company called Vices. 60 Minutes is at our franchise in Seattle. We're bringing the newest and safest football helmet to the NFL in 6 months. So remember that name, Vices. The point of this is it's equipment. He talked about equipment. It's teams. It's feeder leagues like this that keep this great game alive, and there's no greater game. And I know it's past baseball now to be America's pastime. And Joe Kraus and I go way, way back. And being around football, you can tell that this franchise is in good hands, and they have a winner in place with Coach Brown and Joe Kraus. So good luck to you guys. And again, another big hand for Joe Kraus and Coach Brown and the staff. Joe, I want to let you know that Vices is your first official team sponsor. We will be sponsoring you guys this year. You guys are wearing Vices helmets as soon as they're released. All right, buddy? So the indoor team will have the best helmet in the world here in 6 months. So before we close, just want to thank everyone at McFadden's. Of course, everyone here at the podium. Let's give it up for McFadden's, too, the bartenders and bellhops and people back there, all the girls. Thank you very much. Again, give it up for everyone here at the podium for their support. This new franchise, we couldn't do it without you. And, of course, last but not least, all of you here and all the fans, thank you for coming out with your support, and get behind the team and support them as they make their drive to the championship and taking this trophy to Philadelphia this year. Thank you, everyone.